Crete. This is the largest island of Greece. For thousands of years, the inhabitants of Crete have integrated in their culture and history their land and anything on it that sustains them in life. For centuries, the Cretan songs make life sweet. In this land, dance is a way of life, a spark of love in the eyes of the young, slender maidens. This is Crete, an island where one is at home. Welcome to the cradle of European civilization. Welcome to Crete. Welcome to our world. The Cretans have never been alone on their island. For thousands of years, they have lived side by side with a population of unique plant life which spread over valleys, hillsides and mountains. This unique population is none other than olive trees. It seems that olive trees are much older than the human inhabitants of the island. However, both have contributed to the emergence of a great culture, the culture of the olive fruit and olive oil. The olive tree is a symbol of wisdom and peace. The olive juice is like liquid gold and has inspired cult and religious devotion, literature, art, a healthy diet, and become an essential element of the Cretan culture. Since ancient times, the olive oil has been treated as the gold of Crete. The olive oil has been an essential ingredient of the Cretan diet since the Minoan period. On the basis of scientific research, it has been established that as early as the Neolithic period, circa 6000 to 3000 BC, the inhabitants of Crete supplemented their food with wild olive fruits. During the Copper Age, 3 millennium BC, the inhabitants of the island started to domesticate the olive trees, while systematic cultivation seems to have started around 2000 BC. The olive fruits were on the daily menu of the ancient Cretans during the Minoan period. They were also included in the offerings to the dead in the pre-Palatial period. The olive branch has been identified in the Minoan linear scripts, while scientists were able to identify the names of olive tree, olive fruit and olive oil after they had deciphered linear B script. These names were also mentioned in the works of Homer. This discovery increased the written tradition of olive culture by 6 centuries. In the same scripts we learn that in addition to cooking, the olive oil was used as a basic ingredient for making aromas and ointments, as well as for various cures. The olive tree and its fruit were represented in murals and other interior decorations. They even inspired goldsmiths. There is a tablet at the Palace of Knossos which provides a description of an olive grove that was property of the king. Other tablets represent tallies of olive oil extracted from wild as well as from domesticated olive trees. Yet other tallies make reference to old and new olive oil yield. In ancient times, the olive pressing installations were located outside the palace at Knossos, inside olive groves. Huge clay jars in the west wing of the palace were used to store the olive oil that was harvested in the area. According to estimates, the storage capacity of all clay jars in the palace amounted to 250 tons. Olive pits have been found in most of the excavated Minoan settlements of the island. This is one more proof that olives were in the diet of the ancient Cretans. Also, smaller quantities of olives have been found in jars. In the Minoan palace at Zakros, archaeologists have found whole olive fruits inside a depression in the ground that was used as a water reservoir in ancient times. In antiquity, the olives were harvested by thrashing the trees. Concerned about the tender shoots and leaves of the trees, the ancient writers condemned this practice of thrashing. Instead, they encouraged people to pick the olive fruit by hand from the trees. The harvest of the olive fruit usually begins by the end of November and lasts until February the following year. During this period, the unripe fruit changes from green to blackish purple with a shiny skin. This also means that the olive fruits are ripe enough for oil extraction. Until recently, the producers of olive oil on Crete were keeping the ancient tradition of olive harvesting. In other words, by thrashing the trees with long and thin sticks. However, technology has introduced a special thrashing equipment which consists of a long metallic rod at the top of which is mounted a rotating cylinder with short PVC threads. These threads beat the branches of the trees and olives drop on nets that are spread out under the trees. Special sieves are occasionally used to separate the fruits from the leaves. Subsequently, the olive fruits are put in sacks or PVC boxes and transported to the olive oil mills. The 20th century introduced fast technological developments in the production of olive oil. The traditional methods of pressing were replaced with equipment which facilitated the separation of pure oil from impurities and residues. However, it was the introduction of hydraulic presses which gave new impetus to production, while during the 1930s the traditional olive oil mills, with the crushing stones turned by horses or oxen, were abandoned. In spite of the technological developments, there were a few areas on Crete which operated olive oil mills even up to the 1980s, in keeping with the ancient tradition. Today, modern olive oil mills are equipped with state-of-the-art equipment, and their operations are certified by state authorities. The processing of olives begins as soon as the sacked or packed fruit is brought to the olive oil mill. The processing involves roughly the following stages. First, crushing the olive fruit. The result of this stage is the production of thick paste which contains not only the olive oil but also other elements of the fruit, for example water. Second, the stage of paste malaxing. This is the stage of continuous agitation or kneading of the paste. And third, the separation of the olive oil from liquid waste and solid waste. The extraction of olive oil is carried out by centrifugation or clarification, which is more modern. Subsequently, the olive oil is stored in large stainless steel containers, which are installed in dedicated spaces for protection of the olive oil against high temperatures. The olive oil remains in these containers for some time for natural clarification, during which any solid particles subside at the bottom of the containers. If good quality olive oil is maintained under conditions that are similar to the conditions under which the fruit ripened, then the olive oil will retain its natural quality for a very, very long time. Currently, olive oil producers associations on Crete operate modern storage and bottling facilities. This ensures that domestic olive oil, the gold of Crete, reaches the consumers in excellent quality. For distribution and home storage, the olive oil should be stored in airtight and dark containers. To this end, glass or stainless steel containers are preferred. The olive oil is one of the vegetable oils which can be consumed immediately following its extraction without further processing. However, the olive oil is distinct from other vegetable oils because it retains all of its natural characteristics, taste, aroma, etc., which are the same with those of the olive juice in the ripe fruit. For example, specialists in the field consider the extra virgin olive oil of Crete as one of the finest in the world because of its distinct taste and aroma. These distinguishing characteristics are attributed to the particular climate and soil of Crete, which deserve special mention as they are important factors for the quality and international acclaim of the Cretan olive oil. The excellent organoleptic qualities, that is, sensory properties of the Cretan olive oil, are the result of the prevailing weather conditions on the island. Long sunshine periods throughout a year, including autumn and winter seasons, when the juice is generated inside the olive fruit. The olive oil has excellent biological qualities, a fact which adds to the nutritional benefit of olive oil and ranks it among the top 10 of most beneficial foods. Recent scientific research have proven that the longevity and low cardiovascular diseases of the Cretans are the result of the Cretan diet which is drenched in olive oil. The renowned 7 countries study by Ansel Keys, which was published in 1980, revealed that the health status of Cretans was the highest in the world. Cancer incidents and cardiovascular diseases were rare, since the mortality rate on Crete implicating these diseases was 9 out of 100,000 people as opposed to 466 in Finland. The results also showed that the male population of Crete is 3 to 5 times less likely to suffer from cardiac infarct in relation to men in Northern Europe and the USA who are of same age and have the same total cholesterol profile. It is no exaggeration to say that quality olive oil is the elixir of healthy and long life. As early as the Minoan period, the nutrition of Cretans has benefited the most from the precious and blessed fruit of the olive trees and fruit juice, the olive oil. The liquid gold of Crete is the island's olive oil. Even to this day, the world-renowned Cretan cuisine is making exclusive use of olive oil. When consumed raw, the olive oil is most beneficial. In addition, scientists claim that the olive oil is distinctly better even at higher temperatures in relation to other vegetable oils. Nutritionists and chemists warn that fatty substances, when subjected to high temperatures, for example in frying, produce elements that may be dangerous to human health. This explains why antioxidant substances are added to edible seed oils to be used in frying. On the contrary, antioxidant substances are found naturally in the olive oil, which obstruct oxidation and make it ideal for frying. This property of the olive oil is attributed to its contents that are rich in monounsaturated fats and vitamin E. So, there is no better oil for frying than olive oil. Indeed, the olive oil of Crete is a unique product which is found in all households throughout the island and mainland Greece, while the local producers hope that their product will be appreciated and loved by other people in the world. Currently, the annual production of olive oil on Crete is approximately 150,000 tons, 90% of which is extra virgin. The liquid gold of Crete is the island's olive oil. Blessed be the olive tree and its fruit. And now a quotation by Solon, an Athenian statesman and lawmaker who lived from 638 BC to 558 BC. The greatest good for any cure in life is the fruit of the olive tree. End of quotation. For Crete, the olive tree is not just a fundamental resource. It is, most of all, myth, history, religion, tradition and culture, an integral element of the tempestuous life of Crete.